Ahafo region to Bono region to Bono East region. I am here on account of the fact that I am the flag bearer and the presidential candidate and the leader of the New Patriotic Party. And because of the 2024 elections, I have started my campaign tour, which will take me to all the regions. I have been so far to the eastern region, to the western region, to the western north region, to Ahafo region, to Bono region, to Bono East region. And I'm starting my campaign tour of the northern regions. And I thought that if I'm starting on the northern region, I should first come home and start from home in the northeast region, where most of it are displayed. But I want you to enjoy. We are in a digital age, so you will need the computers, and I want you to use them very, very well and to do well and pass your exams. Thank you very much. God bless you. And in 2016, the NPP put it in our manifesto that when we come, we are going to create a region for the people of the Savannah region, as with other peoples. We have therefore, through the president, the magnanimity of the president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, done something that the people of the Savannah region had been looking.
Majeshi keje watch any former Northern Regional Minister. Ne biane evita onupa anywa His Excellency ke campaign Honorable Salifu Said. You find ke woje no ho woye wo PC ni Legimony Party ye shy ni ami edomo ni abafo oshiki anale ye nyumoye wale na nebafi MP achole Benjamin Nagai Shibami ke woje eno wobaya wo mami neji the mayor of Accra, Honorable Lisbeth Kwacho Saki Shibami. Bene woye wo MCE ni yeshai ni amie Legimony Edomo His Excellency the President na achole Honorable Fred Ofe lehu obie oba sumo ake oba introduce wonyenu ni achole Gideon Buaku Legi His Excellency a spokesperson panyafai Shibami ke woje no woye Honorable Insafwa efita onupa anywa His Excellency the campaign fine wo communications team ni wo ketu ni wo here wo mami ni ji Helen Dekun lehun fita team hekeba ke wo je lehun eno wo ye wo mami ni ji lawyer Ama Frimpoma lehun senior aide ni ewa His Excellency campaign lehun obaji le koko echonye ke je no maya former Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs ni biane legit CEO Keha Bui Authority. Leon is a senior aide to His Excellency in the campaign. Actually, Honorable Kofi Jameshi Yehishibami. Obateke woba wonyenu Honorable Vice Hansen Ninoy Noti Yehishibami. Eves, well, of an Tema Central Member of Parliament. Yo, Kawaja no Womba CEO Keha National Lotteries. Bekuku mine awole the best CEO of the year. Niji Onyeno Honorable Sami Ewuku Yehishibami. Kenja no wa former Deputy Minister Keha Transport. Niji former National Youth Organizer Leon senior aide Keha His Excellency Achole Anthony Ayifa Kabu. Fine, introduction. The former press secretary to His Excellency, former President John Ajekum Kufuor, Leon Ebachon, former General Secretary, the New Patriotic Party. When efita senior aides, Niji Mendiwa His Excellency campaign, Nuchumoni Wochuon, actually Honorable Engineer Kwabena Ejapon. Ke wajeno wababa Wache was the former mayor of Accra. The Biane Eji, a member of the Council of State. Wono Wachekome Honorable Stanley Ni Achiri Blanksin Yehishibami. Ni Dakucho Ochi. His Eminence Honorable Ni Ajiri Blanksin. You waba introduce the next person. Niji Lawyer Wulu. Lenoji board chairman who keha DVLA. Ni NPP ke campaign fe leji yicho keha legal affairs. lawyer Frank Davids. Okay. Kewaje no one back. Honorable Daniel Titus Glover Eheshiba. Regional chairman and all NPP everyday cashier the entire country. Neji the chairman of the new patriotic party. Ake time so. Honorable Stephen Intim, Ayensu Intim, Yeheshibami. Acting president. If you are check, ni mene ebashe, Greater Accra, Greater Accra House of Chiefs. Ike nuchumo ni awole as flag bearer and leader of the party. Poligana. Agbene ike nuchumo ebashe, campaign ebashe Greater Accra. Ke ebashe biye Greater Accra. Ike nye boto Greater Accra ni ike mancheme. Ni mbe name eba ne kama bashra ni eba bi eba ba jomo ke jamete. Ewo leji moko ni mene Ghana mo fe mo chole the digital man. Ni eheshiba eji noko ni mo fe mo osofoi onupai mancheme mo fe mo ko to ni otanoko o katikome baake o papa ne matuni kaji ojebo ike mo fe mo tuoni no other than the former Deputy Bank of Ghana enutumo wulune tuon ewo ebacho running mates the tuning His Excellency now President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo the acting president mene Vice President Duchumo etu le keminjele ni NPP ewo le flag bearer and leader ewo His Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana and grace of the Almighty God Kenya Wamo our next president Muhammad Bawumia.
Acting
Mark Madam Shiana Jeno Neno. ya yo mo ni town ni kanya yue he wo kai shi ba fe nkpanye fai chumi wo vice president ni ita wo here ne eka wo ekwe chumi eka fai pa mo ehami ake nke ha ni me ke na me ke wulo me ke me fe ni yo chune me ake je ehia ni kai ni achawa ke wo ba bi ne lebi ni le ebashwane shi gbajano to ebo ni eye ole kakolo eje ko se bo upa afo eje boy ho moden modern bo no hani ise ya kweshine ise ya glash fi o no akenke pa pa mo hanye fe lele wo batrashi eche shi efe noko mene o baby wole no abaye wono heni wo ba jewu no keka tibene ni wo yen kamolololo nyongwa gbajano nyane wo fen wo ka jomo kome ka twe kome ne ka fa pa mo ne no ko ni wo mo mi after all wo bi ni no kaji ale do po ne wo hwe no nyeme obafu alo obachumu nyera don akenyango fa pa mo ne ko ni wana bode waya wo hin twa no manya ba your ex
am here on account of the fact that I am the flag bearer and the presidential candidate and the leader of the new patriotic party. And because of the 2024 elections, I have started my campaign tour, which will take me to all the regions. I have been so far to the eastern region, to the western region, to the western north region, to Ahafo region, to Bono region, to Bono East region. And I'm starting my campaign tour of the northern regions. And I thought that if I'm starting on the northern region, I should first come home and start from home in the northeast region, where most of it are displayed. But I want you to enjoy. We are in a digital age, so you will need the computers. And I want you to use them very, very well and to do well and pass your exams. Thank you very much. God bless you. And in 2016, the NPP put it in our manifesto that when we come, we are going to create a region for the people of the Savannah region, as with other peoples. We have therefore, through the president, the magnanimity of the president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, done something that the people of the Savannah region had been looking for a very long time. We were able to create this region to bring development to the Savannah region. And the purposes of creation of this region has been manifested because we are beginning to see development, more development than at any time in the history of the people of these regions since independence. What do I want to do? I want Ghana to move away from a dependence on fuel to generate electricity to a dependence on solar power. Let's move to solar power. That is the solution for that I see. Solar power. I want us to move away and generate. At least 2,000 megawatts of solar power in the next 4 years. That is about half our consumption. And right now, per kilowatt hour, we will be able to halve the cost of electricity if we move to solar power. God has given us the sun for free, essentially. We should harness it and generate the electricity.
From now on, Tien Tokos ne Mbur Salamama, Tenya Salamama Shir Kamza, Tia Zantila Ghana Nerva Kopa, Sulmingo Kulanja, Salama Concession, Ghana.
to the Savannah region. And the purposes of creation of this region has been manifested because we are beginning to see development, more development than at any time in the history of the people of these regions since independence. What do I want to do? I want Ghana to move away from a dependence on fuel to generate electricity to a dependence on solar power. Let's move to solar power. That is the solution for that I see. Solar power, I want us to move away and generate at least 2,000 megawatts of solar power in the next 4 years. That is about half our consumption. And right now, per kilowatt hour, we will be able to halve the cost of electricity if we move to solar power. Then God has given us the sun for free, essentially. We should harness it and generate the electricity.
From now on, Tien Tokos ne Mbur Salamama, Tenya Salamama Shir Kamza, Tia Zantila Ghana, Nerva, Sulmingo Kulanja, Salama Concession, Ghana.
In the palaces. So we are very, so grateful you to be here. It shows your commitment to help partner with government for the development of the Greater Accra region and Ghana as a whole. Indeed, we're grateful for your role you play, especially since I became the minister. We've had a very cordial relationship. I myself have been personally involved in a lot of things that you've done in Nongua, pulled your college together, and I believe those I would help him and my colleagues. Your requirements and needs are all addressed. But, Acting President, what we seek to do is to seek your blessing in the House. I'm not sure whether this is going to be when my boss starts speaking. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe indeed, he is from a royal house or royal palace, as I also do. And we do appreciate your efforts to help the country develop. There are peculiar issues in Greater Accra, which is the seat of government, and all government institutions are here. So he will take into account and address them. But on that note, I wish to, in all humility, and I also let me just say a little bit, and you touched on it. Our leader and flag bearer is very friendly, is very relaxed in terms of trying to listen to all of us and people he come across, but he's very firm. His disposition sometimes will deceive you. He's a very firm person, and he's able to accommodate all of us and all ideas. He listens a lot, but when he makes a decision,
jana tourner fe o beni sami e ba fole gbe ami ni la ke dwemo ni ba nyese ka baba e ba ni gadan me ne twi anyonyome o mi pa ni fai nye wale e ja ke beni Dr. Kwa shigadan me na ndoko ye Dr. Nkrumah mi na no jama ko fo na fili na weni no ne demonstration di keteke mene wakanya bi no ba hanye koni gadan me nye muemi koni wakale no wakwa president ye ko godan shi nibi na chuo ni wo yehudase ni wo nan wo yinme no iye mo kele ko be shiba mi akeka wo ke hiwale wodi e ba chu fe bonu wona le ne wo mletwane wo akpa fai dani ba wiye maso mo ni matu shidani ne ke babi ne ke hanye shibe mi ni wo gbe se acting president ke njumo ko fun yin akanye tabo he ne e afa bibio ne wo sana kwakoni amachu ekokula hanye ni mo dromona dangwe ke odio no upio ne wa president ne ke fun yin memi o ona wo mi o ne ngai de gayo chufefo no na adela no egedi kwate mode active president kion ami madasinga yina ne no ne mama choma hanye lo huo kide huo ke haswa wake 1 million Ghana cedis wake ska baba ne waka je chosisi ne mawa ne wa yingbem jena se hu wanyawa de dadaka nyo ke mlo boko ne watu kana neme pape mawo danke daka ipape mo mle onane ko bone waketai ne okana na mekenana mekla ni nyetele nyawo ne kema wujo o makpale wa ba he o ne wa kla ne wa pikake ne wa twa ganga ne mene masi ma wo ne jonye kla ene wa suo ike isibami bloba ha wa vice president o ke NPP wa flag bearer ne ko ne tumunyu ma wo ne jonye. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
I was going to stand. Thank you very much, Regional Minister. Obuade Noche, King Professor Odaifio Welenchi III, our revered paramount chiefs here present, paramount queen mothers, our representatives of the various traditional councils, Wilame here present, Nime, Name, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm most privileged, most honored to be before the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs today. I thank you all very, very, very much for making the time to be here. I even hear from what the regional minister tells me that some of you were here as early as 8 this morning, and you've had to sit all this while. I think there was a misinformation for us, and also delays that came in. So, we are very, very sorry for coming this late. I don't normally go late for meetings. It's not my style, and so I'm most sorry for the delays that have come in. And so I will beg, and I know that the acting president has already begged on our behalf, and I want to thank him very, very much for that. I am here as the flag bearer and presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, and I have started going around the country as I'm putting my manifesto together. I am meeting all the key stakeholders in the regions as I am going to listen to the people, because God does not put wisdom on only one man's head, puts it all across the country. And so if you are a leader, you have to understand what is worrying the people, what it is that they want you to do for them, and not just come out and say, this is what I'm going to do for you without consultation. And this is why I am going around the country, and I have come to Greater Accra region, where I am also here and living in the region. I know that ultimately God chooses leaders for countries. And I know as chiefs, my beliefs and our tradition is that you, the chiefs, are closer to God than we are. And so when you pray, they listen. And so I am here, first of all, today as part of my Greater Accra Regional Tour, which I'm doing today and tomorrow. First of all, I cannot start moving around and doing many things without first coming here to ask permission, to ask for your blessings, and to ask for your prayers for the task that I am embarked upon. I have come a long way to be here today standing before you. When I look back, I can only thank God. I have been a by-day worker on a farm. I have been a cleaner of dormitories. I have been a taxi driver before. I have been a warehouse boy. I used to carry boxes very well. I have been a teacher. I have been a professor. I have been a deputy governor of the central bank. In August 2008, I was given 24 hours to make a decision whether I will accept a running mate position to enter politics. I was really not intending in my life ever to enter politics, but I had 24 hours in August 2008 to make the decision. I prayed a lot about it. In fact, that night I didn't sleep because I needed to make the decision the next day. And I agreed to come in the next day to join politics. And after 3 elections, 2016, God's favor was shone upon us, and we won the election in 2016, and I became vice president in 2017. And so when I look back at my life, I can only thank God for what has happened, for how far He has brought me. And today, as I am here to let you know that I am the flag bearer. Even getting here as flag bearer was not easy within our party. When I decided to contest for flag bearer position, many people said it will not happen because I am from a minority tribe in the country. And if you look at our party over the years, we have only presented Akan leaders for our party. So many people were almost labeling us as an Akan party, even though it wasn't the case. So, but I am from a minority tribe from the north. I also happen to be Muslim. And so they said that, look, when you look at the mathematics, the NPP electorate, largely Akan, largely Christian, they are not going to vote for you, to a minority, to come and lead the party. And this is the battle that we were fighting. But I was very confident. I said, if by the grace of God, God says I should lead the party, I will lead the party. It will make it possible. And that is why I continued that battle. And by the grace of God, God made it possible. And I won the election to be leader of the NPP. And this is why my campaign slogan is that with God, it is possible. With God, it is possible. I believe that we should all think in the realm of possibilities. And God can use anybody to change a country. You look at the story of the Bible, and you have Cyrus. Cyrus did not know God, but God used him to change the welfare of the people of Israel. God used him. I come from a family. My father had 17 surviving children. Hey, he wasn't playing. We are 17 who are surviving. But it's an interesting situation I grew up in, because 9 of my brothers and sisters were Christian and 8 of us were Muslim. The same family. So we had both the Bible and the Quran in the house. And so religious tolerance for me started right from childhood. I was a member of the Methodist Boys Brigade as a child. Today, I'm a vice president. I am a Muslim, but I am the patron, a patron of the Methodist Boys Brigade of Ghana. So, I believe in tolerance. I believe in respect for everybody. And this is why I believe that I can bring this nation together. We are a very peaceful nation, and we can continue with that peace. The reason why the NPP voted for me to lead the party was largely because of how much work I had done. As the acting president has said already, that my work spoke for me. They looked at my work and what I had done for this country as vice president. And they said that they are not going to vote on the basis of religion or tribe. They are going to vote on the basis of competence. And they voted for me on the basis of what I had done. I had very, very keen interest in education, because when I looked at how countries such as South Korea have progressed, the Asian tigers, the key was education. Key was education. And so this is why I was pushing very hard from the beginning, before we came into office, for the implementation of the free senior high school education. Because every economic statistic for development says that at the end of the day, the education levels, especially at the tertiary level, makes a big difference. South Korea has a tertiary enrollment rate of 94%. That's very, very high. Ghana has 14%. So the gap is very high. So how do we get our children into the tertiary education? First, you have to get them out of senior high school. Without that, they won't get into. So the free senior high school education was to help us get our children up into tertiary and also get education. The acting president, Nime Name, the free senior high school education has worked a lot for us. When we came into office, only 800,000 students were in senior high school. So from independence to 2016, we ended with 800,000 after 60 years of independence. 800,000 in senior high school. When we implemented the free senior high school, after 7 years in 2023, we have moved from 800,000 to 1.4 million students in senior high school. So after 60 years, we had 800,000, and in 7 years, we added 600,000. That is 75% increase. And so many people who could not go to senior high school suddenly had an opportunity. They could now afford to because it was free. And then the performance also has gone up. The core 6 subjects in senior high school WACC examination, the pass rate was 41% in 2016. Today is 64%, the core subjects. So the performance has gone up. And what gladdens my heart also is that more girls are going to senior high school than boys. Today, in 2016, for every 100 girls, every 100 boys, there were 68 girls. Today, for every 100 boys, there are 106 girls. So the girls have taken over in that sense, and it's a good sign for us. I've also been able, as Vice President, to focus on making Ghana ready for the 4th Industrial Revolution, the digital age. That is very, very important. I wrote a book in 2010, that is before I became Vice President. I wrote a book saying that Africa and Ghana as a whole needs to start getting ready for the 4th Industrial Revolution. Otherwise, we will miss it. It is the digital age, and we have to be part of it. And so, over the last 7 years, I have been focusing on solving a lot of problems by making sure Ghana doesn't fall behind in the digital age. I thought that it was important to even do things that had not been done in the advanced countries. And so the first thing that we needed to do was to get digital identity, the Ghana card. Many advanced countries in the world have not yet had digital identity. The European Union is asking all the EU countries to issue the Ghana card equivalent by 2030. They've given all their countries up to 2030 to issue it. The United States of America has not yet started. They have now started discussing to issue the digital ID in the United States. But we have come into office, we've issued digital IDs, almost 18 million of Ghana cards have been issued. And not only have we done it for the adults, now even for babies who are born in Ghana today, if you take the baby for a weigh-in at the hospital, weigh-in, the baby is going to be given 2 identities, the Ghana card ID and the birth certificate ID at the same time. I believe we are the only country in the whole world that is able to do this, because we have integrated the database of the NIA with the Ghana Health Service with the Births and Deaths Registry. And so we are able to issue the babies the Ghana card ID and the birth certificate ID at the same time. On the 17th of June, that is this month, we will start going to the schools in the whole of Ghana to issue the children from 6 years all the way to 15 their Ghana card IDs. So we will have everybody covered from babies to the school children to the adults. And this is something which is very, very important for us. The Ghana card ID, it has helped us deal with corruption in the payroll. The ghost worker problem was a big problem, acting president. Big problem. So I brought the suggestion that every government worker should be linked to their Ghana card. Why? Because every Ghana card has the fingerprints of the worker. But ghosts don't have fingerprints. So once we linked the Ghana card number to the workers, the ghosts all ran away. So in the national service, we found 44,000 ghost workers. One place, National Service Secretary, 44,000. They disappeared when we linked the Ghana card to the workers. We saved 420 million Ghana cedis just at one place. We went to SNIT. We found 29,000 ghost pensioners. We saved over 300 million Ghana cedis. 2 institutions alone, almost 750 million. Just two of savings. And we've cleaned the whole payroll of the Controller and Accountant General. So today, thanks to the Ghana card, we can say we've solved the problem of ghost workers in Ghana. The Ghana card has also become your tax identification number. It has become your SNIT number. It has become your national health insurance number. We have even linked the Ghana card to the ICAO database. ICAO stands for International Civil Aviation Organization, which is in Canada. We took the Ghana card, everything to Montreal. It went through all the rigorous testing. And now it is part of the ICAO system. It means that if any Ghanaian, and it has happened to many Ghanaians now, goes abroad and your passport gets missing, you can take your Ghana card and board a plane and come back to Ghana. It will be accepted in 44,000 airports and border entries in the world, because it is now part of the ICAO system. We are one of the few countries in the world whose identity card, digital ID card, is part of the ICAO system. And before the end of this year, we are opening the e-gates at the Kotoka International Airport, the electronic gates. It means if you are a Ghanaian and you arrive at Kotoka International Airport, you no longer need to go to immigration. You go to the e-gates, put your Ghana card, it will open, and you enter the country. And so this is what we have done. The next thing I worked on was on the issue of financial access to financial services, bank accounts, and so on. Only 30% of our population had a bank account. 30%. The rest of us had Momo numbers, Momo accounts. But the Momo accounts were only internal, because if you had an MTN Momo account, you couldn't send money to Vodafone. You could only send money to someone who was MTN. And you couldn't send money to a bank account. And no bank account could send money to a Momo account. So I called all the telcos and I said, we want to do what we call mobile money interoperability, so that we can send money across the networks. I called the banks, I said, you also have to be part of it. We'll be able to send money from a Momo account to a bank account and vice versa. Initially, they were resisting, but I stood very firm. Some of them I called their bosses in South Africa and brought them here, and we had a meeting. I said, this is where Ghana wants to go. It had never been done in Africa, never. But we insisted, and today you can send Momo from your bank to the Momo account. You can send funds. You can send from one MTN to Telecel, from Telecel to Tigo. This is all done. And today, when they send you remittance from abroad, it comes onto your mobile phone. You no longer need to go to Western Union. And Ghana is the first country in the whole of Africa to do mobile money interoperability. The first country in the whole of Africa. And they haven't done it in the United States. They haven't done it in Canada. They haven't done it in the UK. We are ahead of them. And this is why I say it is possible for us to move ahead of some of these advanced countries in some of these areas. The other area I looked at was our address system. We did not have a working and a functional national address system in Ghana. If you wanted to find something, you have to say, when you get here, you see a cocoa seller on the right, and take the right, and you see the blue house, and take the left, the big tree, and if you are not lucky and the cocoa seller doesn't come out, you are in trouble. And so we said that you can't, any modern economy must have an address system. Today, if you go to US, Canada, Germany, and you collapse their address system, just the address system, the economy will grind to a halt. Nothing will work. Everything depends on addresses. So we needed to find a solution. After 60 years of independence, we didn't have an address system. And I said, look, today's world, we have GPS technology. Let us move to a digital address system so that everywhere will have an address. Whether you are living in Nima, or you're living in East Legon, you're living in Tamale, or you're living in Wa, or essentially everywhere in Ghana will have, every location, every property will have an address system. So we implemented the digital address system in Ghana. And it has now been done. It is working very well. Today, if someone is coming to your house, you just have to give them your digital address. They'll drive there. There's no issue anymore. You don't need the cocoa seller to be out at that time, and you will go. And Ghana, our own dear country, is only the second country in the whole world to implement a national digital address system. The whole world, we are the second country to do so, and it is helping prepare us for that. We also have brought in one of the things that is really helping across Ghana now, which is drones to deliver medicine. Drones, medical drone delivery. I had a personal experience, one in September 2002, when my father had an operation in Tamale, and we needed blood that night. That night, he was bleeding. We rushed to the blood bank. It was locked. We tried to get the person who operated the blood. He was gone. We couldn't find him. We tried different numbers. We couldn't find him. Before the morning, my father had died. So it stuck with me. And when I heard that, this is after I became vice president, I heard there was a company in San Francisco called Zipline Drones. I read about what they had done and that they were delivering medicines to the remote parts of different countries, and that technology allows delivery of blood. If a pregnant mother is giving birth and losing blood, they can bring medicine quickly. A snake bite on the farm, you need anti-snake serum very quickly. The drones can bring it in and all of that. So I said, no, if this technology was there, my father probably would have been alive. We would have had blood delivered as quickly as possible. So I took a team and we went to San Francisco, and I went to meet the founder of the drone services. And I said, I want you to come to Ghana and establish in Ghana. After some discussion, he agreed that he will visit Ghana. 2 weeks later, he was here. And then we have established 6 medical drone delivery centers so far in Ghana. We are delivering to 2,800 health facilities. Every day, each of the centers does an average of about 100 flights. And it is being managed, 100% managed by Ghanaians. 100% managed by Ghanaians. No white person is there doing it for us. Our young men and women are managing the drone deliveries. And we are saving lives every day. But what is so interesting about this story is that today, in the context of the whole world, Ghana is the largest medical drone delivery service in the whole world. We have taken the lead. And what is interesting, acting president Nime Name, is 2 months ago or so, 2 months ago, the company that we went to bring this technology from in the world were looking to hire somebody. They did, and they came to Ghana to hire one of our Ghanaians to take him to San Francisco to lead a team on medical drone flight operations in San Francisco. Amazing. But Ghana has now taken the lead in there. Nime, we are also networking our hospitals. One of the biggest problems in our hospitals is medical records. You can go and ask for your folder and they'll tell you it's missing. They've not found it. Your whole medical history cannot be found. So we have said that we will digitalize all the medical records and all the hospitals, clinics, CHIPS compounds, everything, and network all the hospitals so that they can talk to each other. And we did that for all the teaching hospitals complete, all the regional hospitals complete, all the district hospitals complete. So today, if they refer you from Dodowa to Kolebu, you no longer need to take your folder to Kolebu. Just take your ID number. You get to Kolebu. Once they enter it, all your medical records will be showing right now for the doctors to act. So by next year, we hope that we would have covered every hospital, clinic, and CHIPS compounds for all of this. And it is going to really continue to help us in there. Today, if you are at home, you can buy electricity with your mobile phone because we've digitalized the electricity purchase program on your mobile phone. Even if you are not in Ghana, you are in China, you can still buy electricity for your house in Ghana. If you are in UK, you can still buy electricity for your house in Ghana. That doesn't exist in the United States or in the UK or in Canada. We have gone ahead of them in this as well. Today we can enroll on national health insurance on our mobile phone. It's very easy, very simple. And you don't need to go and pay a bribe or sleep outside the NHI office. So these are some of the things that I have been doing. Brought the idea of one constituency, one ambulance, Agenda 111, goal for oil policy. I can list at least about 33 different policy initiatives that I, as Vice President, have been able to bring to Ghana. And Nime Namaya, this is why I'm saying that if I have been able to do this in my limited position as Vice President, then if you, by your grace and your prayers and your support, if you make me president, I'll be able to do much more for this country. I'll be able to do much, much more for this country. I believe that the vision that I have for Ghana is a number of things that I want to do. First of all, I believe that agriculture should be our number one focus. Agriculture, farming, large-scale, irrigated, mechanized farming. We should invest a lot in agriculture and support our farmers. I think we should really, really get technology involved in agriculture, reduce the risk by doing more precision agriculture. So I want my government to focus a lot on agriculture. And when I say agriculture, I also include fishing in that whole context, right? So we should focus a lot in the support for our farmers and fisher folks. Secondly, I want to reduce the cost and then increase the reliability of electricity. We have dealt with this problem for a very long time, having problems with electricity generation. And the cost is also very high because we are relying on oil and gas to generate electricity. Oil and gas is also expensive. When there is a problem in the Middle East today, which has nothing to do with us, suddenly oil prices will go up, and then fuel prices go up, transport prices go up, food prices go up, and then we have a problem. So I want Ghana to move away from oil and gas and go for solar power. Solar power is the key to our freedom in terms of power generation. Because solar power is free. I mean, practically God has given us the sun free. We are even running away from the sun. But we don't have to pay to import the sun into Ghana. Oil, we have to import it. The sun is shining every day. It's given to us for free. And so I want us to bring in 2,000 megawatts of solar power in the next 4 years. 2,000 megawatts means that is more than half our consumption. So you take that and you add it to the Akosombo, then we will reduce the cost of power that we pay by at least 50%. At least 50%. And that will change everything, and we will make power very reliable. The days will not come when they say the sun is no longer shining in Ghana. We will always have the sun. This is a gift from God if we look at it that way. But I don't want us to just import solar panels to make solar power. I want us to set up the factories to make the solar panels in Ghana and create the jobs. 2,000 megawatts is a lot of solar panels. If we just import the solar panels, then we haven't done anything. We are going to have to do the manufacturing of the panels here. And so my team is beginning those discussions to make sure that we don't waste time. When by the grace of God we get the opportunity to lead, we want to do the discussions now and know who are coming to set up the factories to manufacture the solar panels for us, and we will get it done. So that is very, very important for us. I also want to change the tax system of Ghana. Why do I want to do that? We've inherited this tax system from the colonial days, but it isn't helping us. GRA and so many businesses and individuals are always in fights over their tax liabilities. And our tax system is too complicated. Sometimes they will bring a tax bill to a business or an individual and they don't even know how it was calculated. And they will tell you, if you don't pay, we'll shut down your shop. And they shut down many shops. And so I want a tax system that is easy to understand, very easy to enforce, easy to comply with. I had my team do the research, and we looked at all the tax systems in the world to see which is the most tax efficient and most tax competitive. We found that Estonia, the country of Estonia, was the most tax competitive country in the world. The last 10 years, every year they are number one. So I said, what is happening in Estonia? I took a team and we went to Estonia. I went to meet the president, the prime minister, the revenue authorities. We had a series of meetings. And I came back very convinced that Estonia, the model of Estonia, is a flat tax system. Flat tax. If it's 10%, everybody is paying 10%. There's no complication in that calculation. It's 10%. It's like when we go to church and we have to pay tithe. Right? The tithe is 10%, isn't it? Everybody knows how much it is. It's easy to calculate. Sometimes you don't even need a calculator to calculate the 10%. So Estonia has found that this flat tax system has really helped them and in making sure everybody is covered in paying the tax, because everybody knows that this is how much you have to pay. So you know your tax. There's no kululu in that matter. It's clearly defined. And therefore, next year, if by the grace of God I am president, we want to introduce the flat tax system. But to start it, I want everybody to start on a clean, fresh plate. Everybody to be on the same page. So next year, we will offer a tax amnesty to all businesses. Forgive all your taxes for businesses and individuals, and we will start on the same page for all businesses and individuals, so that we will get a lot of forgiveness. In fact, a few weeks ago, I went to the Vatican to have audience with His Holiness the Pope. And then after my meeting with the Pope, our Cardinal Peter Texin, who is there, took me around the Basilica to show me different parts of the Basilica. And when we were going around, there were some people doing some work somewhere. And I asked, what is going on here? Cardinal Texin told me, oh, we are making preparations for next year. It is the Jubilee year. I said, what is the Jubilee year? What does it mean? He says, well, this is the year where there's a lot of forgiveness in this year. I said, oh, that is good. Then that means 2025, I'm also going to forgive taxes in Ghana. And it is very consistent with the Jubilee year. So we will have that. And the tax amnesty will be a good injection to many businesses, because it will take off this burden of taxes that they are faced with at the moment, and it will really relieve them. And the next issue I want to deal with in our tax reform is our import duty regime. I found out that there is a problem that, maybe was inadvertently created over the years. There is no predictability in our import duty regime. You can import something and think that you are going to pay 10,000 cedis. When you get to the port and they give you the bill, it's 20,000 cedis. They'll say, the exchange rate has moved. The valuation has changed. There's no predictability. So when they say it's 20,000 cedis, if you pay, when you get to the market, you increase your prices. If you cannot pay, they confiscate the goods, and they may sell it to somebody for 5,000 cedis. So we need predictability in our import duty regime. And therefore, the proposal I have is that we should reset our import duties by way of flat taxes in cedis. Flat taxes at the port in cedis. What does it mean? It means that if you are a spare parts dealer in Abosokai and you are bringing in spare parts, for 40-foot container, you should know in cedis how much the duty is. It's a flat rate. Say, for example, 20,000 cedis for a 40-foot container. No matter when the goods arrive, you are paying 20,000. That is it. You can plan that this is how much my duty is. If it's a 20-foot container, 10,000, you pay. There's no exchange rate matter. You are pricing in cedis. If it is rice, you are bringing in 40-foot container, this is how much it is. 20-foot container, this is how much it is. And so on. So we set it flat rate, because if you don't set a flat rate and the rates keep going up for the traders, they will keep increasing the prices in the markets. So there will be an inflationary bias there. And so we want to change the current regime to a flat regime in cedis. So then you will have predictability and you will not have all of that. The second area I want to change is to realign Ghana's import duties to the port of Lomé. Why do I say so? Because currently the Lomé duties are lower than ours. So because of that, people rather go and clear their containers in Lomé and smuggle the goods into Ghana. That's what is happening. And we don't get the duties for the revenue. So I have a simple solution to this, to bring a policy that says Ghana's import duty will not be higher than Lome's import duty. We will be the same or lower. Immediately we do that, the smuggling will stop. It will stop immediately. And so those are the two reforms that I want to bring in the import duty regime so that we can have. I also want a much closer relationship between chiefs and government. I think we have made a mistake as a country because we have sidelined the chieftaincy institution in the governance of our country. And we are paying a heavy price as a country in doing so. We don't have discipline in a lot of our society because the chiefs don't even have the power to summon people to the palace. It becomes a problem. And so there's no discipline. And I don't know how it has increasingly happened, but we have to go back and make amends. So I'm proposing a review and an amendment of Section 63D of the Chieftaincy Act. And this is what my manifesto committee is recommending also. That we amend Section 63D of the Chieftaincy Act and give more power back to the chiefs. Give more power back to the chiefs. That will help government. Because there are so many cases that come to court that should not come to court. They could have been solved in the palaces. But they rather go to court, and they've clogged the court system. So we need to re-empower the chiefs, amending Section 63D, which would be a priority of mine. And then to be able to get the chieftaincy institution to really play its proper role, financially, the institution needs to be resourced. Because you can't give them responsibility without resources. So the recommendation that has come, which we are going to we put in the manifesto, is to make sure that we pay living wages to the chieftaincy institution. And by this, I mean the paramount chiefs currently is 1,000 cedis a month. Even to attend a meeting, it may not be enough for petrol. There is no payment for the queen mothers. There is no payment for the divisional chiefs. And so we need to pay living wages, living allowances that they call it, to the paramount chiefs, to the divisional chiefs, and also to the queen mothers. I think if we did that, if we do that, then you will see that the chieftaincy institution, it will be empowered. Will be empowered to take decisions that help the government. I want us to be close. And this is why, even in the mining areas, I'm proposing that the chiefs become part of the district mining committees. No mining license can be given without the chiefs knowing about it right from the beginning. We will have to now start to re-empower the chiefs to help us to govern this country. The second area of reform that I want to see in the area of chiefs and the disputes that come is the codification of the lines of succession. We have not been able to do it. And the judicial councils have to be empowered, because if we don't do the codification, you'll find so many chieftaincy disputes. Many of the time, people who are not related to the stool in any way come and lay claims to it. They have no relation because we haven't codified the lines of succession. And we need to codify it. So we are going to give the resources to the judicial councils to be able to complete the codification of the lines of succession. And that will be very, very important for us, because then you will know ab initio who is qualified and who is not qualified. There is a vacuum, a big lacuna right now, where everybody can just get up and claim. If you have money, I can come and claim your chieftaincy position and just create confusion, go to court for years and years and years, but you don't have status, you don't have a claim. So the codification right now is something that I'm going to really push for the House of Chiefs, all the judicial councils to help. And I just been told that the lawyers, acting president told me, mentioned that the lawyers don't have conditions of service, retirement packages, and so on. I hear that it's the Attorney General who appoints the lawyers. So I will be having a discussion, because that also has to be rectified. With the nature of the work we want the House of Chiefs and the chieftaincy institutions to perform, we have to rectify all of that. The another major area that in the area of chieftaincy that I want us to deal with is land. Land digitalization is very, very important. That we want to make sure that the ownership of the lands is clear. Because again, without clarity of the ownership, you have confusion. And that is the bane of the problem. That we should clarify, map, and all of that so that it's clear, so that you can know that if you go here and this is the land, this tool has the land, and this is the place you have to go for title. We want it so that you can check on your mobile phone who owns the land. We need clarity. And that is very, very important. So the process of digitalizing that process will begin. And we will digitalize the land ownership. I know very, very well, Acting President mentioned it in his statement. Greater Accra, it's a special case actually, when you think about it. Because as the Acting President has said, the capital city, gateway, to this country, the seat of government, there is a problem because hosting the capital city has costs for the people of the Ghana state. It has costs for the people of the Ghana state because everybody is coming here, isn't it? The demand for land is higher than anywhere else, isn't it? So we have to look at it as a special case. We have to understand the issues that are here. So I have a committee which is being chaired by the Greater Accra Regional Minister to look into this issue for us. We need to, because there are a lot of land acquisitions that government has made that maybe are not being used for what they were acquired for. We need to look at how we deal with all of those. The Ghana language, which may be dying in many places. Why? Because so many different people come here. And so how do we protect the Ghana language? How do we protect it? How do we protect the Ghana language? Because it's a real issue. The culture of a people is in trouble. How do we protect it? Of course, with everybody here, how do we get indigenes access to some of the institutions? Because everybody wants their child to go to a school here. Everybody is coming. Are the indigenes able to get access like everybody else? So I want this committee, which will finish its work very soon, to come out. We will have a discussion with you. But there is a special case that we need to make for the Ghana state for hosting the capital. And in the areas of land and language and culture and all of that. And I'm very, very aware of that. And we are going to deal with this issue with you, in consultation with you. We are going to deal with this issue with you. It's a major issue that we should do. Nime Name, it's very important that I make my views very clear on LGBTQ+. Our traditions and cultures don't agree with it. Our religion, whether it's Christianity or Islam, don't agree with it. So we will never agree to LGBTQ+ in Ghana. It's no, no, and no. No matter what the consequences are, we will hold firmly to our values. Our values, African values, our religion, our culture, we will not accept it. So I want to give that assurance to Nime Name that as president, there's no way that we will allow that in Ghana. There's not going to be anything like that in Ghana. I want to also say that my vision, my focus is going to be a lot on job creation. Jobs for the youth will be key. Agriculture is one area, tourism is another area, the creative arts is another growth pool for the youth, sports, another growth pool for the youth, digital skills. I want to train, because today you can sit in Ghana and work in the United States or in Australia. Once you have digital skills, you can on your laptop be working in foreign countries without even traveling there, but you are working every day. And the acquisition of digital skills is not meant for the people who have gone to school and gotten certificates in university. Even school dropouts, we can give them digital skills. School dropouts, as long as you can read and write, we'll train you to do coding, we'll train you to do software engineering and software development. It's practical. And so my goal is to train 1 million youth in Ghana in digital skills and give them opportunities to do jobs in Ghana and jobs abroad. And we will get there very, very quickly. Nime Name, as I bring my remarks to a close, I say that there are a number of reasons why I believe you should support me, should pray for me to become the president of this country. I believe that if you look at my record as vice president, I believe most people I can say will say that I have been the most impactful vice president in the history of Ghana. And if I've been able to be the most impactful vice president, it tells you that if you make me president, I will be one of the most impactful presidents as well. And then the important thing also is that I'm coming to you with the hope to be a president for 8 years. That's very important. I am hoping to be a president for 8 years. So after 4 years, I'll have to come back to the house and account for what I have done in 4 years before you give me a renewal of my license to drive the car for another 4 years. So with me, you will have accountability for 8 years. With my opponent, once you give him 4 years, he goes for honeymoon, you won't see him again until he hands over. There's no accountability. But for me, you will get accountability. I'll be back for another term, and you ask me, what did you do with your 4 years? So I believe that I will be able to account for what I have done. In that case, we are also moving into the digital age. The whole world is moving into the digital age. Ghana has to move into that digital age. And you see the things I'm doing to help us. I believe that of all the presidential candidates, I'm the one who is the best positioned to take Ghana into the digital age. I think that we have, before I sit down, let me say that I've heard and I've gotten a copy of the acting president's speech. We also had a small meeting before we came here. And as I look at your building, it's almost, frankly, shameful. Frankly. I think we need to do something about it. And I know that you have a whole good plan that is here, and we are contributing immediately for work to start, and we'll look at how we get the financing for the rest of it. It has to be done. So we are going to work towards it for you, but we are giving some money which President has already announced for something to start. I'm going to be focused on it. The second thing, President gave me a choice actually. Said the council, the House of Chiefs needed a bus, but also needed a building. So I should choose one. So I said, okay, let's start with the building. But on second thoughts, I think I'm going to buy a bus for you as well. So we are going to bring you the bus as well as soon as possible, so that it will help your work. I want you, honestly, to take me as your son. I will be there for you. I will listen to you. I'll listen to your issues, and we'll work together. I believe we can work together. I'm there, not for myself, but for all of us. So please, pray for me, and may God bless you. I believe we'll be back again to talk, and I need your support. God bless you.
He's going to respond.
From 2 questions from our Queen Mothers, and then 3 other questions from other people.
Excuse me.
Either questions or suggestions.